if I get my way, I get my change, it will not change by 1 penny any spending on any veterans program. What I'm trying to do is change a government accounting methodology that is designed to allow our Democratic colleagues to go on an unrelated $400 billion spending spree that has nothing to do with veterans and that won't be in the veterans space.
Comedian and activist Jon Stewart, he's been a vocal supporter of this legislation. Many have seen he was on Capitol Hill yesterday for a news conference. He's met with Senator Rick Scott and others. Jon Stewart joins us now. Jon, thanks so much for coming back on to National Report. We appreciate that. I see you're out there at the Capitol. Kind of set the scene for the viewers. What's happening there behind you?
So ever since the Honoring Our Pact Act was pulled back after passing the Senate 84-14, these veterans have been sleeping out by the Capitol in just sort of a quiet protest about their needs being ignored and the needs of their brothers and sisters that they fought with in Iraq and Afghanistan. And as you know, as you live around here last night, pretty big thunderstorm, pretty big deluge, and they're not relenting. And they're showing the kind of tenacity and fortitude that serves our fighting forces very well and is now serving to get their voices heard as strongly. So we're going to be here until this thing gets done.
Talk to me about their voices getting heard. I know that you've had conversations. Did you speak with Senator Scott? Have you spoken with others, or maybe those that maybe push back a little bit on this with you? Have there been any constructive conversations?
So unfortunately down here, constructive conversation is so in the weeds of parliamentary procedure. What you find about the Senate is it's so incredibly complex that you can't do anything. But it's also so incredibly malleable that you can do anything. So what they'll say is, all we want is the 2 amendments. And you'll say, okay, here's your 2 amendments. And they say, but there is some financial and budgetary concerns, which are valid. And I would say, well, can't we just pass it? This is over a 10-year span. Don't you have oversight? Well, yes, no, we do have oversight. So can't you exercise that oversight? Well, of course. And if you want another amendment, can't you table that and do it later? Well, yes, no, we could do that as well. So there's all these things that they could be doing instead of delaying and denying care for the veterans that have stood out here and fought for 15 years. You know, time in the Senate is different than time when you have cancer. And the words eventually, and as Senator Toomey said right there, and I thought the key phrase of what he said was, if I get my way. Well, that's not really how the country works, Senator Toomey. And we stand with the VFW and the American Legion and the Wounded Warrior Project and IAVA and DAV and AMVETS and the Independence Fund. And what about their way? And what about their voice? And the things that Senator Toomey wants done can still be done. There can be oversight. The bill specifies what it can be used for. There's absolutely no reason for this man to be holding up this bill on petty parliamentary nonsense.
I want to read something to you because a spokesperson for Senator Ted Cruz of Texas gave us a statement today for you, in part, quote,
right.
The PACT Act contains an irresponsible Democratic provision allowing Congress to recklessly spend an additional $400 billion on programs totally unrelated to our veterans. Democrats must work with Republicans and fix this issue to prevent inflationary spending that will hurt all Americans. Once that happens, the PACT Act will quickly become law. Before you react, I just want to ask you, too, I'm sure you've read about discretionary versus mandatory spending. That seems to be what has changed. They did have the 84-14 vote, and then once that changed, many Republican votes changed. Your reaction, sir?
First of all, I'm glad he wrote it down, because sometimes when people just lie orally, it's very hard to pin them down. So what I would ask you, and it's sort of what I asked you last time, you said something there that I think is the key sentence. You said when they changed the discretionary to mandatory after the June vote, that's when the senators switched. And I keep trying to tell you this, and this is not an opinion, this is a fact. Go on congress.gov. The bill that they voted for, 84-14, had the exact same provisions that they are complaining about in it. So I would ask you to ask Senator Cruz to point to the change You can look at the bill side by side. The bill that they passed on June 16th, 84-14, did not have one word added to it to the bill that they shot down in July. There was no gimmick inserted. There was no change from mandatory to discretionary. It is utter nonsense. I appreciate the fear mongering as someone who responds very well to fear mongering and gets scared, but that is just factually incorrect. And one of the biggest problems we are having with this bill is the misinformation that comes out of supposedly credible sources like Senator Ted Cruz. So please don't take my word for it, sir. There was no change. The House flagged a blue slip rule. It's one sentence concerning a provision about rural providers that had it didn't change the funding, the way it was funded. This is not a Democrat ploy. This is the way the bill came out of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee. And by the way, improved so much that when the House voted on this Senate version, they gained 90 Republican votes. The senator is wrong. The senator is trying to deflect, but it is not a matter of opinion. I urge you all to go to congress.gov and combine the two and look at it. Please, sir, you have fabulous fact checkers there. You have fabulous producers. They can dispel this nonsense in a moment. Nothing changed. Nothing.
John, if we could do something here together,
yes,
if we will, the veterans
Please.
behind you, do you mind? Can we go to those veterans? Can we just get one
Absolutely.
of them to comment? I mean, they've been out there. Clearly, they're passionate.
Absolutely. These are the guys. They've been out here since Thursday. You guys want to?
We've been out here collectively since Thursday. I've been out here personally on off Friday night, 10 a.m. to the Saturday at 1 p.m. Sunday from 10 a.m. to yesterday at 4 p.m. I'll be here from today 6 a.m. to whenever we get this done. We're not leaving.
I just made it here from St. Louis, Missouri, and many more of us are going to keep coming until we get this done.
And John, it's great to hear.
These men and women, by the way, these are not like liberal activists. Like, this is the VFW and American Legion and IAVA and Wounded Warriors Project. They would not sign on to a bill that they thought was a Democratic money grab for a slush fund. I promise you, this misinformation has to stop, because the longer it goes on, the harder it is for these men and women to get the health care and benefits that they earn. I urge all of your viewers, call your Congress people, but I urge your network, and you've done a great service by getting their stories out, to check that statement. The bill that Ted Cruz voted yes on in June never added one word about mandatory or discretionary or anything else in the way that this bill was funded. It's a lie, and it has to be checked.
We'll continue to reach out, obviously, to each and every vote that we can in regards to that Senate vote. Hopefully something will be taken up this week. It's supposed to be taken up, we thought today. It might be by the end of the week. John, these veterans, are they going to, final question, I know, final question for you, are they and yourself going to stay out there until this bill gets passed by the end of this week?
They're not leaving. Look, their tenacity is remarkable, but their need is also remarkable. And it's not just them. They're representing the men and women and their lost loved ones who came in through here. I don't know if you can see this here. Like, this is life and death for them. This is something that they've suffered with for 15 years and 20 years. And the Army knew about it, and the VA knew about it. And look, there are things in this bill that address Vietnam veterans. That's how far behind the curve we are in addressing this need for our veterans community. This isn't partisan. Nothing was snuck in. There is no slush fund, and the Senate still has oversight. Veterans Affairs Committee still has to submit a yearly appropriations fund that is approved or disapproved, whether it's mandatory or discretionary.
All right. We'll continue to follow that. We thank them, by the way, for their service. That never goes anywhere. And I know their fight continues right outside there at the Capitol. We continue to monitor to see if that PACT Act does get passed. Jon Stewart joining us live here, bringing light to that. John, good to see you. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you as well.
You too.
Hey, guys, it's Rob Carson. With inflation at its highest level in 40 years and interest rates skyrocketing, your retirement plans are in danger. Well, our friends at American Hartford Gold can help show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Yeah. If you call them right now, they have a special offer. They will give you a free gold coin on your first qualifying order. So don't wait. Call now. Here's the number, 866-935-4309. That's 866-935-4309, or text Newsmax to 65532. That's Newsmax to 65532. Thank you.